the producer. What is the producer producing? What type of productivity is the producer producing? Is it righteous or is it unrighteous? That's what you're going to ask yourself. And so the devil took Jesus to a very high mountain and showed him all the splendors of the world and said, this is what I give to you. And Jesus said, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. Away from me, Satan. Away from me, Satan. So you got to tell the producer, away from me, Satan, and your productivity. Away from me, Satan, and your productivity. Every continent on this planet have to tell Satan, away from me, Satan, and your productivity, and worship the Lord your God and serve him only. You have to tell him that. Now, what if the devil went to Julius Caesar and he said the same thing to Julius Caesar? He takes Julius Caesar to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world. This I will give to you if you bow down and worship me. But Julius Caesar says yes. And so Julius Caesar comes to every continent. He tries to come to every continent. Steal, kill, colonize. Steal, kill, colonize. Comes to steal, kill, and colonize. And influence everyone around the world with its productivity. Enough is enough. Away from me, Satan. Worship the Lord your God and serve him only. So, meanwhile, you have to put sanctions. You have to put sanctions on the enemy. You can't want the productivity of the enemy. So you got to join BRICS. You got to join BRICS. So the productivity of the enemy, you're controlled by the productivity. Again, Jesus tells us, do not be in love with money. Do not be in love with money. Never will I leave you or forsake you. Remember this. Don't be in love with money. Never I will leave you or forsake you. So if our first love is Christ, our first love is God, if our first love is God, why are you accepting the productivity of the enemy? Do not be in love with money. We'll see how you're going to react. We'll see how are you going to react when you are sentient. You are sentient. You are sentient. I'm sentient means I'm going to sentient your economic system. But you shouldn't care because you're not in love with money. Right? You're not in love with money. What are you producing? Where are you trading? What do you have to trade? So when you have something good to produce, when you have something good to trade, that means you produce it yourself. That means you have something good. You don't have to steal from other people. You don't have to steal resources. You don't have to go to kill. You don't have to kill for anything. You don't have to kill nobody. It means you're producing something good, something original that helps people, helps others, and you don't have to kill. You don't have to manipulate. You're producing something good that helps all people around the world. So, do you produce what is good? What type of productivity are you producing? Do you produce what is good? Are you influence others what is good? Time will tell. Ask yourself that. What type of productivity are you receiving? What are you in love with? What's in your heart? What's the treasure that's in your heart? Are you just like Julius Caesar? I give you the world. I give you the world. So it's time for people to not be dependent So depend on God. Don't be dependent on the enemy. Don't depend on the devil. Depend on God. You know, everything is free. This is the earth. The earth belongs to you. God gave it to you, gave it to everyone. Live in harmony and live by the word of God. Don't allow the devil to influence you. You are somebody. Only if you, whatever continent you live on, those resources are yours. You don't have to be controlled by the devil. You don't have to be colonized by the devil. Time to put sanctions on the devil. How can you do that? How can you do that? Join BRICS. What's the consequence? When they produce, what's the consequences? When they don't produce nothing, what they produce is destruction. Produce destruction. They build what? Destruction. Weapons, destruction. Destruction. You don't want destruction, right? You don't want their rainbow flags. They influence you with rainbow flags. Everything that is wrong is being produced from the producer. They want to influence you with the opposite of things that God tells you not to do, which is evil. What type of productivity are you receiving? Brothers and sisters, what type of productivity are you receiving? Now, judgment. Judgment. You know, judgment is good. You know, you go to court, somebody do something wrong, you go to court, you have a judge. Right? Right? So you take things to court, you have a judge. So in this case, I need everyone to be a judge. I need everyone to be a judge because everyone should be a judge. Judge for yourself. Right from wrong. But I want you to know, judge yourself for right for wrong with the word of God. Not based on your own ideas, not based on your heart, but by the word of God. And if you're Muslim, base your ideas on the word of God. If you believe in God, which I believe that some Muslims do, believe in God. And ask yourself, the productivity from the producer, is it the way of God? Is the behavior from God? If not, join BRICS. Put sanctions on the devil. Join BRICS. The producer, man. The producer. The producer. The producer. Not be in love with money. Not be in love with money. The Lord tells us He'll never leave you or forsake you. And do the right thing. Come to God and God will come to you. It is written. And so if you making the laws of the land the opposite of God, then there's a problem. If the laws of your land is the opposite of God, then there is a problem. You're voting for something that is the opposite of God. There's a problem. There is a problem, and you will fall. You will fall. Now, the blessing. Let's look at the blessing. You know, the blessing. where the blessing. Are you blessed? Are you blessed? So the zip code, and this is the allegory here. The zip code, if you can figure it out, the zip code 60606. Zip code 60606. So the zip code enters your gate, enters your power. Right? In the same way you influence the other countries, the same way you influence the other countries, you cannot, you cannot curse someone. You put the curse on them by by producing productivity and giving it to them. So what I said, we'll say one more time, you cursing people by giving them productivity that God don't like. And then when they want it, they put the curse on themselves. So the power structure that comes in from zip code 60606 that comes into your house. Power structure that comes into your house says, look, I know that you like homosexuality. I know that you like homosexuality. So he puts that into your law by allowing you guys to marry each other. To homosexuality, y'all, something that is a disgrace to God. You put marriage. You did that. The power structure that comes from zip code 60606 comes into your house and make it the law of the land. And you vote for it and you want it. You want it. And so the curse is on you now. It's like you must fall. You must fall. Sanctions. Put the sanctions on her. She does not produce anything good. Her productivity is not righteous. It's unrighteous. And she's arrogant. She's very arrogant with her productivity. So what? Who produced you? Remember, Jesus said no to the devil. And Julius Caesar says yes to the devil. Who produced you? The producer. I'm Trey Knowles, and I'm out.